Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Spotlight session, Cloud BI Product Roadmap. My name is Pedro Arellano. I'm part of the product management organization for the Looker team at Google Cloud. And it is my great pleasure to give you an overview over the next 20 minutes or so of the very exciting projects that the team is working on for 2022. I'm going to start with a brief explanation of our product strategy and vision. This is so that I can give you some context, which is going to help you understand how we think about business intelligence and how that guides the investment decisions that we're making when we think of our roadmap. Then I'm going to dive into the roadmap in detail and get into all the specific features that the team is working on. Rethink BI. This is a core idea that guides the Looker team when we're thinking about what we're going to be working on in terms of the product roadmap. And what does it mean? It means that when we think about business intelligence and data and analytics in general, we see a bigger opportunity. When we think of BI, we see problems that haven't been solved yet, and we see people that haven't been helped yet. And the work that we're doing every day is to build technology aimed at helping those people and also aimed at helping your organization help those people in new ways by breaking the conventional paradigm of BI. And what do we mean by that? The conventional paradigm of BI is the use case that those of us who have been in the BI space any extent of time are very familiar with. And it's the one that we all think of when we think of BI. You have a data analyst that is sitting in front of their computer screen and they're looking at data visualizations. It's a use case that our industry has been laser focused on since its inception for the past 30 years or so, depending on when you start counting. And don't get me wrong, it's a very important use case. Even though it is conventional, it matters a lot. In fact, many of Looker customers use our BI capabilities to understand their businesses, to run their businesses, and make smarter, better decisions. It's a massively important use case to a lot of organizations, and it's not going away. I want to be very, very clear. In fact, as I'll show you in the section of our roadmap when we go over the individual features, you're going to be able to see that we're making some pretty big investments in releasing new capabilities that are going to make the experience of working with our BI tool even easier, faster, and more intuitive. So the point is that we care about that paradigm a lot. But, there is a but, we also recognize that not everybody wants to work with something that feels like a BI tool. There are many different people in an organization in many different roles that have different needs. There are some people, like data analysts, that are looking for something that feels like that conventional BI experience. But there are a lot of people who are not looking for that type of experience. They're looking for something different. I like to share this anecdote of a former colleague of mine who articulated this idea in the most eloquent way I've ever heard. He said, there are many people who need data to do their jobs, but their job isn't data, right? You have data analysts and data engineers and data architects and data scientists. The word data is in their job title. But then there are a lot of other people who don't fall into that category, but they still need data to make decisions. And that group of people has historically not really been served very well by this industry. Our industry for decades has tried to pull all these people into a BI tool. And you'll hear marketing messages about, let's turn everybody into a data analyst. And at Looker, we strongly disagree with that idea. We strongly disagree with the idea that you should force people into a role that's not natural to them. Instead, what we want to do is we want to reach people in the tools and the systems and the applications and the experiences that they already use today, that they're already familiar with today. We believe that our platform should deliver insights to people in a way that makes most sense to them, to the work that they do, to the systems and the applications that they already use, to the way that they naturally work and think. And for some people, that's going to be something that feels like a BI tool, but for others, it'll be something that feels completely different. And that is what we're building here at the Looker team, what we call a complete, open, and integrated platform that can deliver any kind of data-driven experience that is tailored to the way that everybody in your organization works. We want it to be a very inclusive platform that can help people who are very familiar with working with data, also those who are not. And our roadmap is categorized by 3 specific areas that are represented by the colored rectangles that you see on the screen. Starting with that blue box on the left, that represents our platform's end-to-end capabilities for modern BI and analytics that are delivered out of the box, so that you can do anything that you want or that you would expect from a BI tool, from data modeling all the way to data visualization, all with the Looker platform. On the right-hand side, that red box, those are our application development tools for anybody that wants to deliver an experience that maybe is not available out of the box, but you want to build something that is very tailored to a set of users or a department in your organization or a business process in your company. You can do that. You have a rich development framework available to you that allows you to build any kind of data application for your internal users, or even build a data product that you want to build to market and maybe even commercialize for your external customers. And now that yellow box in the middle, it's about us wanting to be an open and integrated platform that can work with any tool that your users already use today, whether that is something like Google Data Studio or Google Sheets and Google Slides, or even third-party BI tools. It doesn't matter if Looker built it or you built it using Looker's development platform or another vendor built it. We want Looker to be able to enhance your experience of working with data and insights. And of course, because this is Looker, all of this works on top of this modern semantic layer, that long horizontal section you see in the middle. That modern semantic layer, that what it does is deliver a curated set of trusted business definitions that is available to everybody. Everybody can use, regardless of their skill level. And that is how we are rethinking BI. Now, I want to drill down on one particular item from the previous slide, which is our open and integrated connectivity, specifically with Data Studio, because this is going to be a deeper integration than some of the other ones, because Data Studio is now part of the Looker team. And together, Looker and Data Studio represent Google Cloud's BI portfolio. Now, the integration between Data Studio and Looker is something that we're very excited about. It's going to be a long integration journey, as you can imagine, but it opens up so many exciting opportunities to support new use cases that maybe we haven't been so good at supporting in the past, and also deliver new capabilities by combining the strengths of both products together. As I said, there's a lot of work that we're going to be doing, and it's an integration journey that is just starting with many possible future destinations. However, we already know that we're going to be working very hard on 2 specific initiatives this year to begin unifying the products. The first one is that we're going to enable Data Studio users to query Looker semantic layer. This is going to bring curated, governed data to Data Studio queries, and it's going to enhance the Data Studio self-service model with well-governed, trusted data from Looker. What it also means is that you're going to be able to do things that combine the strengths of both products. For example, end user data blending. I'll give you an example. Today, if you wanted to analyze your sales actuals and compare them against your forecast, maybe your actuals are coming from Looker. Maybe you have them in BigQuery and there's a Looker model sitting on top of it. but your sales forecast is lying in a spreadsheet somewhere, which is something very common. In the old world, you'd have to find a way to bring that forecast into the Looker model. With Data Studio and Looker together, you no longer have to do that. Your actuals come from the Looker model, but your sales forecast can be ingested right in that spreadsheet through Data Studio. And using Data Studio's end user data blending capabilities, you can bring those two data sets together and actually compare your sales forecast against your actuals side by side. So those are some of the use cases that we'll be able to support that we're very excited about. Second is that we're going to be able to include Data Studio usage activity as part of Looker's administrative capabilities. As an administrator, it's very important for you that you maintain a great level of visibility and a measure of control over the usage of Data Studio across your organization. This is going to help administrators have that unified view of everything that's happening with Data Studio, so you'll understand things like data lineage and protect against issues like data exfiltration. So with that background, let me dive into our 2022 roadmap. First, we're very excited to announce that Data Studio customers will be able to access the Looker governed semantic model. So this brings that combination of governed data with agile self-service together as part of Google's Cloud BI portfolio. Through this integration, a Data Studio user is going to be able to access all those centrally defined metrics that you can use broadly across the organization, and everybody that's using Data Studio will have that same interpretation of the data. So with the integration between Data Studio and Looker, users can bring that centrally defined data that they wish to analyze and blend it with other available data sources that they want to ingest with Data Studio. We're also very excited to announce that starting now, any Looker customer with a Workspace Enterprise license can start using Connected Sheets for Looker on an opt-in basis. So with Connected Sheets for Looker, users can use that familiar spreadsheet experience and use it to analyze data that is coming from the governed Looker semantic model with all the capabilities that they're already used to, like formulas and pivot tables and charts. It's a feature that we're very excited about. We're already getting some excellent feedback from customers. For example, Mercado Libre in Argentina, they are one of the largest e-commerce organizations in South America. And they've been one of the first companies that's been using Connected Sheets for Looker. And you can see here there how they say that it blows their mind. And they can offer this to somebody who doesn't know anything about data, but they'll have the same power as analysts, and they think it's awesome. So that's exactly what we're looking for here. Again, just providing that valuable experience of working with insights in a way that's very natural to the way that people work today. In Data Studio, we're also coming up with better data blending. So we have improved blending support for more types of joins, right join, inner, outer, cross joins, in addition to the joins that we support today, which is left joins. We're also rolling out the ability to support joins for data sources that don't have a common join key. Also, in the first half of this year, we're going to be rolling out a new filter shelf for Data Studio. It's going to enable Data Studio users to slice and dice your data without having to add a filter control to the report canvas. Looker for Google Slides is a feature that we're also very excited about, continuing with that integration with other tools and other experiences, giving Slides users the ability to bring in or embed analytics or insights from Looker, a visualization from Looker, into a presentation they're creating. You can add that visualization as many as you want, and then any time that you have to give that presentation, you can just refresh the data that's coming from Looker, giving you a really great way to communicate data using Google Slides. We're integrating with Google Maps. One of the great things about being part of Google is that we can take advantage of features like Google Maps. So all of your geospatial analysis, you'll be able to do that with Google Maps as the geo engine underneath. Ask Looker is another feature that we're very excited about, and this brings the power of artificial intelligence, specifically natural language, into Looker. So your users, instead of having to assemble an analysis in the traditional way, they'll simply be able to type in a question and Looker will answer with the corresponding insight. So imagine how much that brings that barrier to entry, if you will, of working with BI, of working with insights for people who are not necessarily very data savvy or are experienced working with a BI tool. Again, just that experience of giving them something that doesn't necessarily feel like a BI experience, but allowing them to work with insights in a way that's very natural to them. This is going to be available in preview in Q2 of this year. Anomaly and insight detection. This is another area where we're taking advantage of all the surrounding research that's happening around us at Google. Things like signal detection technology and multivariate analysis, being able to bring that into Looker and giving the product intelligence to monitor how many metrics are behaving in a way that would be very hard for a human to do. The product now has intelligence built in, and it can see how all these different measures are moving up and down within a band of what we would consider normal. And any time the measure goes above or below that band, it will trigger an alert. And because this is Looker, the feature leverages that semantic model, that semantic layer, and can identify the drivers of those anomalies and all the correlated metrics. We're improving the Looker mobile experience. We know that it's very important for people to be on the go. We're all carrying our mobile devices now. So instead of having to pull you into the BI tool, we're giving you all those insights on the phone, on your device, on the go. And we want to make that experience as natural as possible. So we are leveraging natural capabilities of the device like push notifications that will take you directly into the analysis when you tap it. We're also closing the gap between the experience of using Looker on your computer and using Looker on your phone with things like cross-filtering and drilling. Coming in the second half of the year in preview mode, something that is very interesting is the ability for third-party BI tools like Tableau and PowerBI to query the Looker semantic model. So similar to how we would have users of Sheets or Slides or Data Studio use those tools as their front end, but Looker in the back end, same thing here. If you're a user that is familiar with Tableau or you really like Power BI, we want to enhance your experience by putting that layer of governance and trust underneath all the queries that you run. So as a customer, you'll have the option now of using the visualizations that come out of the box with Looker. And many of our customers prefer that because they want the sort of that single solution for all their needs. Or maybe you're an organization that's already invested in one of these tools and your users want to keep using them. Instead of forcing people away from those tools, why not make their experience even better with the Looker semantic model? So that's also something we're excited about. We're integrating with data workflow orchestration tools. Looker customers leverage PDTs, persistent derived tables, to make their experience a lot better, reduce the database load, increase query performance. Now you're going to be able to use tools like Google Cloud Composer, Apache Airflow to manage the running and upkeep of these PDTs along with any data pipelines that you might have, even if they're not related to Looker. The Looker Marketplace Developer Program is something that we're also excited about. So this is going to help the Looker developer community. It's going to give them a great way of creating content, but also submitting that content and sharing it, contributing it to the rest of the Looker developer community through the marketplace. And in the marketplace, people will be able to see all the content that other people are developing and then immediately instantiate it into their own Looker environment. The marketplace exists today, but right now it's very Looker-centric. It has to go through the Looker team in order for content to be published on the marketplace. Through this developer program, we're going to let you be able to do that. And then finally, VPC security controls. So we know that security and privacy is something very important to all of you, and it's something very important to everybody at Google. So VPC-SC enables customers to connect to API-based databases like Spanner, like BigQuery, using a secure, private network connection. And this is going to be available and generally available this quarter. So we're very excited about that. As you can see, the Looker team is very busy, and we are working on a lot of exciting projects for all of 2022. All of these projects are heavily influenced by your feedback, so we welcome and we encourage all the input that you have about your experience using the Looker platform and the Data Studio platform as well. We greatly appreciate your support. We greatly appreciate your feedback. And on behalf of the Looker team, we want to thank you for your time today, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the Data Cloud Summit. Thank you.